Hi, I'm Rick Keeler. Thanks for joining me. After my recent column on the Secure Act, a client asked, "What are you going to do about this? It makes the planning we've done useless." Well, the good news is that while the Act will mean some retooling of estate and retirement planning strategies, it didn't exactly make everyone's previous planning useless. Maybe what alarmed my client was Congress spinning the Secure Act as a sweeping and comprehensive reform of retirement legislation. That language, while enough to get anyone's attention, is really more grandstanding than reality. The act is really not that significant. It's not as significant as Congress would like you to believe. But here's what it does do. While the act will allow workers who are older than 70 and a half to contribute to traditional IRAs, those folks could already keep contributing to Roth IRAs and 401k plans. An extra $6,500 a year in savings, it's not going to mean much to the retirement nest egg of someone in their 70s. It will push back the date when distributions must be taken from an IRA. Those are called minimum distribution, required minimum distributions, or RMDs. And it pushes it back from age 70 and a half to age 72. This was effective January 1st of this year. This isn't a huge concession either. Governmental plans, 403Bs, 457s, and TSPs are not impacted until 2022. Qualified charitable distributions, called QCDs, are not impacted and can still begin in the year that you turn 70 and a half. So this is giving to charities directly out of your IRA. So nothing has changed there. Small businesses are going to find it easier to form groups and offer 401k or other plans together. They're going to receive now up to a $5,000 credit for setting up a 401k. In the past, it was $500. So that's nice, but nothing earth-shaking. The cap on automatic yearly increases of employer contributions to 401k plans increases from 10% to 15% of yearly salary. Again, nothing exactly radical. People will be able to withdraw up to $5,000 from their retirement accounts to cover the cost of the birth or adoption of a child. This is something new. And this amount can also be paid back to the IRA at a future date. So that's a nice perk. And loans from your 401k plan can no longer be made on a credit card. I don't think that's going to change anybody's lifestyle. Previously, people who inherited an IRA or other retirement vehicle had to take RMDs based on their age. This would allow younger inheritors to stretch the tax-free compounding of the money in the inherited IRA over decades. Now, non-spousal inheritors must withdraw everything in the IRA by the end of the 10th year after it's received and pay ordinary income taxes on the distribution. Now this is probably the provision that left my client thinking his planning was useless. It will require some planning for seniors because their heirs may have to pay ordinary income taxes on the full value of the IRA right during their peak earning years. So seniors may want to consider converting some of their traditional IRAs to Roth IRAs, possibly allowing them to pay taxes at a lower rate than their kids would pay. Roth IRAs have no RMD requirements and distribute the money tax-free to their heirs as well as their owners. So that's a pretty significant change. The Act now allows employers to offer annuities as investment vehicles. This includes variable annuities that are mainly expensive, high commission products. Plan sponsors must also annually report the monthly income that their participants would receive if they had put the balance of their plan assets into an annuity. Kind of sounds like that might have been driven by the insurance lobby, doesn't it? The Act now allows up to $10,000 of a 529 college savings plan to be used to pay the principal and/or interest of qualified college debt. So this has nothing to do with your IRA, but it is a nice addition to what funds in a 529 can be used for, actually up to $10,000 of paying on debt. So, in the end of the day, the Secure Act does nothing to incent the millions of Americans who have saved far too little for their retirement to increase what they can contribute to retirement plans, or to provide more tax benefits, or to simplify retirement savings. It does none of this. So despite its title, this legislation does little to help Americans help themselves to retire with greater financial security. Thanks for listening.